Inshallah and Ashe, as always, blessings to you and through you and for you. Are you ready to take the world by storm? So you may be feeling inspired to really get excited and fire things up. Emotions are in the streams. They're adding some sensitivity and stream them in, integrate them to really achieve an otherworldly awareness, what you need to begin or take an initiation on, an action on, or maybe something you need to stop too in order to reach our goals. Maybe they're otherworldly, of emotional security, seeing that into your future or seeing into the future emotionally. So what does emotional security feel like to you? Having an emotional foundation, initiating that behavior, an action, a character. So it's not a day to let it get the best of us either, or even somebody else. However, however we do respond today, even an in response is a response. It's a good idea to kind of pull ourselves away from anything or anyone, and really get some patience, like hone in on being patient, and be in our zone of peace, neutrality. So this is going to be a galactic payoff streaming in later. Like the payoff is in the juice when the dust really settles. And Mercury, our mind, the messenger of the mind, is actually moving into the season of Leo, the heart. So you may just notice that your communications and your thoughts, they become literally more heartfelt, heart shining, heart star, and maybe even childlike wonder, getting connected with that little child inside of us, where we can find ourselves maybe thinking of romance, creative projects, anything that really lights up our heart, being an artist or a musician, and feelings and thoughts that open us up that are super fun as our wounds actually return, they're taking a standstill in the ingredients. It's like they're not mixing in, when you're making sauce and that one ingredient doesn't mix in. So we're going to have the opportunity to kind of review, take a rerun, if you will, of any of our past wounds that may be affecting our character, our actions, or our behaviors, or all three, that are not in our ascending. They're not ascending to our highest good, our highest self, our future self, our Sira self. So surrendering the unknowns now, but by the end of the year, we may just notice that our own brand, like a new improved self-image of ourselves. And also, to add to the cosmic soup, the sun, our heart, is opposing Pluto, our transformation. So our inner and our outer world, or how we're seen in the outer world, what we desire, we may have this urgency or an urge to transform. So it's being initiated, kind of activated. And our heart is sensing this desire to feel an achievement, maybe an award or a certificate. But you may even have to kind of extract, if you will, an old power, control limits in order to reach that mountaintop perspective. And really, a slow climb up the mountain still reaches the top, that perspective. And again, I'm more of a turtle, not a hare. And with that, welcome to today's Daily Snippet. Once again, I am your host. I'm a practicing holistic shaman and medium, an otherworldly life coach, and a subtle energy surgeon coined by my elder. But I do go by the term holistic shaman medium, and my intention truly is to utilize the power of the indigenous technologies, the elemental realms, the beings that are elemental even, our original divine blueprint to navigate our soul's harmonic, our personal medicine through the realms of the elements, along with the elemental highway into the imaginal realm through the great gateway, the greatest gateway of the shamanic portal, through the cosmos, subtle energies, elemental beings, and really so much more. With offerings, prescriptions, and rituals to really add to your personal juice in your container, your personal medicine, your prime directive, just assisting you in discovering or navigating your inner genius, that personal medicine, the star that I truly believe we all are, reintroducing you to the magical being that resides within each and every one of us so that our starlight may shine even brighter. And again, my name is Tanya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. So with the energy of today, it really is this activation, this initiation to push to help, make changes in our emotional life, shifting, transforming, having a higher quality in our emotional long term. that emotional security, that foundation. It's not like social security, and we all know where that's heading, right? But just know that our feelings may get upset. We might have some anxiety, especially if we're misfiring or misdirecting them. So the essence of today is a comboed. It's been comboed. It's an enlightenment of both our feelings and our intuition, our psychic abilities. It's the crown and the sacral and also the root center. So we've got all these congresses going on. Emotional empathy, visual activity, together just merging, and then it initiates a character, an action, a behavior that is future feeling. So if your feelings are upset, maybe they need to be nurtured, or maybe your intuition is like picking up on some otherworldly senses today. So kind of like streaming things in from our subconscious. So we may find that our character and our actions, they become maybe a little defensive, anxious, maybe unsettled, like we're walking on iffy ground. So do what you can to get to the root cause, get to your root center of what is disturbing or disrupting your emotional field before initiating or taking action in our day-to-day world, our day-to-day life, our reality. But once we ground into the elemental realm, the day is going to move forward. It's going to be transforming and shifting our emotional status quo, the well-being, into the future. So it really is a great day and a great idea to check in with our feelings, tune into them even, along with our intuition, before we get the heads up, the green light to move forward with any plans or shifting and transforming of our foundation, our emotional foundation. The foundation that our emotions they stand upon. So this may be a change in where we live. It could be upgrading our care, our personal care to ourselves, even like shifting our financial security, our capital, our financial security capital, if you will, or simply just modifying a futuristic relationship that really affects our overall well-being. So it's just a great idea to elevate our futuristic emotional care and also be mindful of protecting and trusting the action that we're initiating. So be sure to tune into your feelings, feeling your feelings, and listening to your hypergate of intuition before literally initiating that action. It's like starting the car, checking the engine lights first, where that kind of takes this stage. And if you have yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Authentically Heartfelt, please do. Be in the heart, Tanya D. And for those of you that have been newly subscribing, again, thank you and ashe, blessings. And if you don't mind hitting the bell button so you're notified as well, and a comment and a share, or one of the each, that will get you a message for your day to get you on your way, just echoing out the algorithm to other like-minded musers like yourself, a gathering out into the galactic universe who may also muse about insights of the other world, the world of spirit, the world of the elementals, beings that are otherworldly, mostly elementally, but source and really so much more. So you can find me on other social platforms like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and my Musing with Tanya D podcast, Otherworldly Insights this year. Manifesting is on the highway. And if your soul wishes to really dive on deeper into the realms of the other world, head on over to my Musing Corridor. This is my library in the sky. It really is a venue where I have some amazing options and opportunities to assist you and guide you, a private community to utilize as well, a village. I really am your shamanic otherworldly assistant. You truly are your own healer, but sometimes we need an otherworldly perspective, right? Seeing things through different eyes. And with that, just a few announcements as I pull up there we go. I'm like, where is it? A few announcements as I pull up our options for the day. So the Musing Moon meditation is going to be out soon. The new moon in Leo, the star of our galaxy, the star of who we are, that will be in your inbox. You will be notified if you are part of my Musing subscribers, or if you have subscribed. Be sure to register for the Energetic Cleansing Meditation Circle coming soon. This is a monthly meditation streaming in always the first Sunday of each month, usually around 10 a.m. Mountain Time, but I may change that streaming time. This one is streaming on August 7th. But this one's going to be like a gathering of souls, setting the stage, the foundation. This is like dedicated to our heart, the sun, the star, the season of Leo. And my latest podcast episode, The Otherworldly Insights, Manifestation, is on the highway. So you can tune in on your device at tanyad.tv. Apple Podcast, Spotify, with my Musing with Tanya D podcast. So today, what's resonating for you? We've got the lion, we've got the crab, and we've got a jaguar. So we have some options. I don't know how these stream in. I couldn't tell you that one. And also on the elemental highway, what do we have here? We have a Yangwood dog of a day, a Jia Xu. So Yangwood is the tree that needs all of the elements to be in existence. The tree of life, the tree of knowledge, a tree of wisdom, etc. And today our tree is rooted into a mountain. A Yang Earth dog is a mountain. So our day is solid. It's in the season of the goat or the month of the goat. The end of summer season, at least here in the West. So it's kind of sad to say, feels like we just arrived here, but it is really intensely hot. But it is also interesting how time seems to just fly by us. But the day, the energy of the day, the heat may be cooling off, but the yin earth of the goat is very strong. And if you have or you are a yin earth day master, you may have found a new supportive friend during this goat month season or during a yin earth day. Just a little insight there. But our day is still considered weak. It's dry. It's not in season. It becomes alive more in the winter. In the spring, that's when it's more robust. Yin water would be great. A nice bubbling spring or a river, a smooth, slow moving river. That would be an asset for our day. And we do need water for balance to nurture and support our big, wise tree. Our tree is heading into the wisdom stage, seriously. So metal would also be an asset to do some trimming, fine-tuning of the branches, trimming away the old so the new can spring forward. This would be new visions. It would be ideas. And our global god is the poet, streaming in from the year. But poetry, that is amazing. Any artistic poets listening in, tuning in? It's about attuning to our inner feelings, the inner nature of being very sensitive, expressing feelings through poetry, ballads, songwriting. Poetry is pretty amazing when you can sit with it. This is also humanitarian causes, humanity in general. But the original talent of the poet is the philosopher. So this really reminds me of the philosopher's stone, if you will. And these are those kind of progressive, individualistic, kind of rebellious types of behavior. The constant challenges of the status quo. They challenge those status quo kind of ideas. They're unique. They're always doing things that are their way, rarely following the majority, the team leaders, I guess. And there's a lot of successful peeps that have this talent. It's what kind of gives them that edge. And this belongs to intellect, being an analyzer. They're known for their insights, wisdom, their abilities to be strategic. So analyzers might be more interested in mainstream intellectualism, the mind, and study, where philosophers find their passion. They're more thought-provoking knowledge, They're like metaphysicals and paranormal, spiritual studies, right? So they enjoy exploring the mysteries of the universe, which is super cool, trying to understand how the world actually works. They're really observant. They're curious. They have this inherent desire to explore and kind of navigate the unseen. Often they can be seen as geniuses in their fields or have these extraordinary abilities. They're highly objective. They're able to observe both subjects, like both sides of the coin, and their path is really one of like mental exploration, which really often involves spirituality. And if their powers are recognized and supported, which is fantasy land, even from an early age, they can become these great visionaries and discoverers. I really like this with the young wood of our day. So they need time and space on their own, kind of like a reflector, to fully engage in their mental acuity and their creative abilities. Actually, Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, they have this talent. They have this talent to build their business on the ability to kind of process this information and turn it into a useful mainstream product, which we all know. Artists like Jimi Hendrix, Keanu Reeves, I found curious, unique and eccentric. So each of them, we could say, was eccentric in their own roles. One taking it to the performing, the way they perform in their life, and also Neo in the Matrix, right? To just give you some insight there. But I would totally be with metal or water. I would probably go with the attributes more of metal, maybe doing some meditation, some breath work, some exercises to ground into that emotional foundation, that security. Okay, thanks for tuning into that one. Had my tongue twisted and tied. But the message is streaming in. We've got the lion, we've got the crab, and we've got the jaguar. So comment your choice over there. Alrighty, so if you chose the lion, the lioness, you get the sovereign of coins, right? So this is earth, physical, it's career, it's money, stability. It's even our ego, which is alive and well today. It's our foundations, nature foundations. It's also business. It's also known as the Queen of Pentacles, money, right? So the sovereign of coins, this is financial security, but it's also nurturing. This is like the nurturing mother that has the financial security. So it's reliable, it's nurturing, it's grounded. And even, you know, they do have access to luxury, but they prefer to keep their life simple. And in doing so, they are truly able to kind of present or offer to those that are around them different things, because they don't let their focus just be on home life and relationships. Don't let that fool you, because this person is formidable, especially when it comes to business adventures. And they do have a lot of experience in life, but not necessarily from older in age. They have this innately inside of them, and they can actually guide others with ease, just getting into the flow. So everything the sovereign of coins does is in support of those around them in the village. They create a secure and harmonious environment around them, stability. But being that it's found our way into our stage today, this is an indication of a desire for having stability and also for wealth, so that we can be generous, not just to ourselves, but to others. But it's also asking us to remember that in order to reach this place, one must see everything from that mountaintop perspective, that higher perspective point of view. So it does not get reactive or caught up in the trivial pursuits. Embodying this energy requires a lot of balance, practicality, warmth. So try to be curious about where you can grow in these different areas. That's kind of the message there. Okay, who chose the jaguar? Any jaguars out there? That's a totem to have, right? You get the Seeker of Wands, and I love the hat too, right? But wands, this is fire, inspiration, creativity, energy, raw, wild passion, excitement. Sounds all good to me, right? And a hat, the Seeker of Wands. So this is charisma, courage, opportunity. It's highly energetic. It's this creative person, creativity. Somebody who's been gifted with wonderful ideas, passion, vision, kind of goes with our energy of the day, actually. So where the Seeker of Wands kind of struggles is with the follow through. You're great at initiating the action. That's also Yang Wood energy, initiating action. But they're not so great at showing up day in and day out to tend to the vision, to water the plant, the seed, to get the seed to grow, nurture it, which really means that they quickly move on to the next idea. So they may have a little self-doubt, or they may not just understand what it's like to be consistent, to be in the flow. And they may feel like they're kind of trapped or stuck and told to stick to one thing. That's where the stuckness comes from. But being that this has found us today, it really is an invitation to be courageous. The message is asking us to acknowledge our fears of failure or being constrained, but to then move forward. And this is when the discomfort we feel when we commit, it's important for our inner development as well as our outer development. But the commitment is loving ourselves, is loving an action for ourselves and taking ourselves seriously enough to really move forward in our progress. So it could be helpful to kind of break things up into small little baby steps that we can show up for every day, little baby steps. Myself, this is true. One thing that really can prevent us from making progress is focusing on the hardest things first, kind of preventing us from showing up for the easy tasks at hand that we can accomplish, the easy parts and bits, and finding humor, even either way, right? That's humor is a great asset. So do the jobs that really seem fun and allow us to build our confidence, building it up until you feel ready for those bigger, super juicy galactic things. I often think that that's why I'm a hare or a turtle and not a hare. I'm moving along just at my own pace, doing my own thing. Okay, so our final message, and thanks for tuning in. I'm so grateful for that, is from the crab. Any crabs out there? Any Cancer signs, sun signs, moon signs, etc.? The crab. This is the ruler of cups. Water cups are water, right? Emotions, intuition, relationships, healing, our subconscious realm, connection there. But the ruler of the cups is the king of emotions, right? So this is balance, compassion, kindness. Kind of feels not just like, feels kind of Piscean energy, balance there. But the ruler of cups kind of indicates a beautiful balance in the betweens, the in-betweens, and also the heart and the head, and just being able to easily flow between feelings and logic. So it's kind of like this testament of being mature in a way, but also it's a sign of being a leader, a wonderful leader, and just being able to implement structure, accomplish our goals, doing all of those things. But often people are simply inspired by the presence of people like this, their energy, their frequency. So they just make others feel seen and respected. And on the other side, you receive the respect. So this one's asking us to meet our situation in more of an unbiased way, to see things through different eyes, which I think we all need to look with different eyes, but examining things from all sides, not in an overly emotional space either. But it's also reminding us that staying detached from external distractions and drama, that too is very important to keep us up above ourselves, or to keep ourselves above it all. Looking at from the cloud line is kind of where I see that. But today really is a day to pay attention to our feelings and what we intuitively sense. That's kind of streaming in with all of the cards as well. And when the two are collaborating, that's when we have the time and the space to initiate a new behavior, a new emotional character, and just kind of initiating that action into the future, kind of streaming it into the future, flowing into the future like water, by tuning into our feelings and listening to our intuition before we take an action to move forward. So it really is the best day, literally, to stop a behavior that's kind of belittling our stage, our emotional foundation. It's a day to end our toxic habit or a toxic relationship or a draining situation, things that don't enliven us. But as long as our future is being initiated and elevated, like, woo, the graph goes up, right? On a graph board, like we initiate that change, like whatever the habit is, drinking, smoking, things that make us not feel good, really. Even could be people in our environment that are negative. So for an affirmation for our day, we've got the coins, the cups, the wands, a king, a queen, a page. Kind of fun. Let me have that, octave going on. I would affirm that I am initiating a future self through my feelings and intuition, feeling and sensing, of shifting my world behavior or my behavior in my inner world, my congress there, and then stream it into my outer world, my future world. And I would just make it an emotionally safe day, acting with our highest good. And with that, thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check out what I have on those announcements. And I will see you on the other side. Thank you. Ashe. Blessings.